Nexo in each pragmatic sense is a coin that is at present traded at 0.628344 per unit with the market capitalization of 351.872 to 900 win that essentially makes it a low-position cryptographic cash versus the genuinely thought modernized assets like Nexo generally have as of now kind of transformed into the mark of combination of thought for completely monetary patrons and analysts, yet furthermore for unquestionably enormous institutional monetary benefactors who from a genuine perspective seen EXO and the rest of advanced monetary standards as an uncommonly fruitful particularly support against development that takes in each functional sense profound expense for the overall economy in an extremely huge way, so we ought to focus in on the Nexo market its all things considered current standings as well as the midterm and long stretch expense conjecture that kind of relies upon the readings of our selective crypto unconventionality record CVIX and in an incredibly critical manner. Right now, the expense of Nexo expressly stays at 0.628344 and this particularly unambiguous mechanized asset, for the most part, stands firm on the 76th balance in the overall computerized cash situating in a critical way for your information. The actual situating of every single cryptographic cash is enthusiastically subject to its truly current market capitalization and cost and everything not set in stone by copying these two elements something that our structure consistently does to supply you with the most extraordinary information on the asset being alluded to in an all things considered huge way. Similarly, to all around get a sort of better buy and large handle of the market situation and particularly sort out the sort of expansive heading of the example or to enlist its non-appearance. It's moreover crucial to from a genuine perspective analyze the obvious expense data relevant to the market under overview. As of late on July 18, the expense of Nexo really stayed at 0.619. $943 toward the finish of the regular trading meeting, which is a 1.62 differentiation when stood out from the continuous worth 7 days earlier on July 30. The Nexo market commonly stayed at 0.618822 as the result of the undertakings of all market individuals. As the result, the expense genuinely moved by 0% comparing to its genuinely present standing a month earlier on July 31. Nexo by and large was assessed at 0.604494, which coordinated with our expense assumption for that on a very basic level explicit period in an exceptionally huge way stood out from the sort of present spot of Nexo. It tends to a 3.95 expense move beautiful rather than common reasoning exactly when it fundamentally comes to advanced monetary standards. Market value is a better indicator of a coin's potential or success than its size, since it shows how the rest of the market reacts to it. It also shows how much of the crypto community's money it controls. Market value is something that many automated traders see as a kind of key indicator that should be taken into account before making trading decisions, which is usually very important. This is because market capitalization is calculated by multiplying the total number of coins that are already in circulation. The current price of Nexo, which is being used as a reference point, is 0.628344. Based on this recipe, we've calculated that Nexo's market capitalization is 351,872,900 win, which makes it the 76th most valuable coin on the digital money market. As of July 29, the market capitalization of Nexo stayed the same. A month ago, on July 31, Nexo had a market capitalization of 338.516,923. Ursita thought that, as its name suggests, especially most extreme stock refers to the most coins that will ever be mined or printed in the block. Most of the time, the source code of the basic convention and the white paper, which is usually very important, show that the biggest hoard is in the source code. Most of the time, the biggest stockpile starts with the creation of the first block on the blockchain. In our case, Nexo has the biggest stockpile of coins, which is very important. This very specific part of a very specific coin can often be seen as a support against growth. This is because the foreordained issuance rate combined with the stock ceiling often makes the coin deflationary once the maximum stockpile is reached. This creates a predesigned shortage of a given resource, which leads to a very predictable and generally consistent price increase. Largeway total stockpile is the number of coins that have been printed or made and are either in circulation or in engineers' or holders' pockets. The total inventory also takes into account any coins that have been burned and put away from general use to keep a steady growth rate, or so they thought. It can be compared to the number of outstanding shares of a public company on the financial exchange in a very large way. The total inventory of Nexo at the moment is exactly 1 billion Nexo, or so they thought. Most of the time, supply is the most important factor in figuring out how much a digital currency is worth on the market. Compares with the best estimate of the buy and large number of coins that are public on cryptographic money exchanges and add to their liquidity in a really big way. Their volume doesn't include the coins that are vested marked and smart contracts secured and computerized wallets or mostly put off limits for general use, which is really important. Most of the time, the flowing inventory is similar to the drifting inventory of offers and the financial exchange in a simple way. At the moment, the circling supply of Nexo is estimated to be 560,00011 Nexo over the essentially over 24 hours. The Nexo market's trading volume usually adds up to 2,613.770, or so most people think. On July 29th, the average volume at the end of the trading meeting was 2.476.420. 7 days earlier, on July 30th, the power of Nexo trading during the meeting was 2.108.766. This is really important information, and the events on the Nexograph can really help you with most surveys. Bitcoin price prediction: USD gets stronger after Q2 GDP report. BTC responds to market changes. In the ever-changing world of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is now worth $29,270, which is a drop of nearly 1% from Friday. As the market changes, different things come into play and affect where Bitcoin goes. Grayscale's recent request that the SEC accept all Bitcoin ETFs at the same time has gotten a lot of attention and made the market even more excited. Also, BTC is having trouble because of the Bank of Japan's most recent ruling on yield curve management, which is hurting its performance. With the release of Q2 GDP numbers, the picture has changed even more. The US dollar has gotten stronger, which has affected the price of Bitcoin and taken away some of the gains made by the FOMC. Even with all of these changes, buyers and investors are still interested in how much Bitcoin will cost in the future. Grayscale asks the SEC to approve all of the Bitcoin ETFs at the same time. In the past, the Securities and Exchange Commission turned down